Hello, Shoyan here. Today I'm working on some storage. For this corner, I'm installing hinoki cypress planks including the ceiling. Then I will build the shelves and TV stand using knotty planks. Originally, there was a TV at the bottom and many small items and other stuff were placed on the middle shelf. I'm making this area into a single open space. I'm removing the middle shelf, which is neither an overhead nor a low storage cabinet. After that, I will install hinoki cypress planks on the wall, a TV stand at the bottom, and shelves on the back. Before that, I start dismantling. This amount of work is relatively easy. You often hear the phrase cut and fall, and I was genuinely surprised when it actually happened. I'm relieved the new floor didn't get damaged.
何一本止まってない。
釘打ってない。
打ってない。昔の仕事やこれ。太い柱にコトンと丸入れしてある。
Starting today, plasterers are undercoating the hallway and the kitchen. Look forward to the plasterer occasionally appearing in the videos. In the past, this storage space called Oshiire always used 2.7mm Luan plywood. They used to say it absorbs moisture, but honestly, plywood doesn't really do that. But this material is easy to cut and remove with a cutter during dismantling. Cutting the corner wood in the middle during dismantlement is challenging. Nowadays, multi-tools are available and you can cut them quickly with one, but I don't have one. I can't move the set saw as fast as a multi-tool. In places where the saw can't reach, I still use a chisel to cut them. It's tough to chisel it off like this.
何？
裏に線を折った。ショートしたブレーカー落ちたわ。
I messed up again. I've drilled this same wire before. I have experienced cutting a 100-volt wire with a handsaw. This time, the wire was 200-volt single phase, and I chiseled it, so the power of the short circuit was incredible. The steel blade flew off, and the copper wire stuck to it. I'm really glad I didn't get a shock. The chisel is no longer usable. Next, I dismantle the floor. I don't think there are any wires under the floor, but cutting with a circular saw still makes me nervous because of the accident. I'm a bit of a mess, but I do it. thought our house didn't have any foreign timbers, but there are a few joists and ledger boards made of Oregon pine.
変わってます。
よう錆びとんな。
上のが錆びるやろ、ベイマツ部分が。ほら。ここで塩に使ってる木に入っとったことな。
In the past, Oregon pine was cut at the sawmill after being soaked in the saltwater log pond. Since it's full of salt, the nail rusts. But nails are strong. If they were screws, they'd break off completely. I found a large snake's shed skin under the closet near the floor I removed. It was quite surprising. It was 1400 millimeters long.
口すごいやろ。ほら。でっけえ口。ほら。これ口やで。
ほんまに綺麗に残っとんな。
ほんで、根らに尻尾の先だけちょっと引っ掛けて自分がずーっと出てった。
It might be an exaggeration to call it our household guardian spirit, but it's too big and won't fit in my wallet.
1500。
But I'll keep this complete snake shed skin in a box and preserve it. This space is the size of one tatami mat. I level the floor because people may step in this area and catch their feet if it's one step higher. I make it flat and level. I don't want to hear complaints about missing insulation again, so I insulate it as well. Since the area is one tatami mat size, one piece of insulation is enough. As well as the other area, I cut it to size, place it, sandwich it with joists, and secure them. I think this way makes sense. After that, I seal the gaps on the wall. I don't add insulation to the walls. This completes the insulation work. I remembered now that this space was originally created to place a floor-standing air conditioner and heater on the left and a TV on the right. I thought it was well planned, but when we started living here, the warm air blowing out in front made it too hot to watch TV. So we immediately stopped using the heater. That's a side note, but that was the original setup. Next, I attach a thin board to cover the grooves in the remaining kamoi. It will be 2 layers, but it will hide the grooves and act as a mume. There was a kamidana on this 90 centimeter wall, and I will place it again. so the storage part wall is 1.8 meters high. But I installed the planks on this wall up to the ceiling. I also installed the trim up to the ceiling in this room, just like in the kitchen. The crown molding is two-tiered, so it's quite a task to install trim here. I'm thinking of attaching a 15mm timber directly to the continuous column. Since it might be slightly proud, I end the trim at the lower crown molding. When installing a trim, creating a notch beforehand makes it much easier and saves time. I'm glad I've done this. Next, I frame the storage area. There will be furring strips on the left side column, but for the front and right side, I secure the planks directly on the columns, so the furring strips come between the columns. It's quite a task to cut to the just right length, and it is also hard to level them. I'm just lucky that the right column is not leaning. If it were, I wouldn't be able to install the furring strips between the columns. I start installing the planks on the wall. I've adjusted the frame to be plumb on both sides, but the front middle column is leaning forward quite a bit. I leave it as it is and install the wall on the leaning column. It won't cause any issues as it's on the front. The front plank is 30mm thick joistless floorboards. I can't remember when they were brought into my workshop. They were quite dirty. But after planing with a super surfacer, they look as good as new. The widths of the planks for the front, left and right sides are slightly different. This means they're different products. I can't use them horizontally, but vertically they look almost identical and create a unified appearance. The human eye can't tell at a glance, so even though I'm using 3 types of planks, they look cohesive. Finally, I framed the ceiling. I have just enough offcuts of Hinoki cypress planks for the ceiling. Since the ceiling isn't usually in direct sight, I don't mind using pieces with minor imperfections or insect damage because it's our house. It will look like a matching set of Hinoki boards from a distance. I finished removing the shelf and created a space to step inside. Next time, I'll build a TV stand and storage shelves in this space. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.